Twice.
All right, and we are on the air live, so we'll get started. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the third hour of power. This is Grady of This Mormon Life, and with me this week is Parker Jacobs. Parker, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Grady. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Now, Parker, you were our guest, I think over a year ago, but for those who may have forgotten or didn't catch us back then, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Oh man, I guess I'm known for my involvement with the kids show Yo Gabba Gabba as the art director for that show, which I created with my brother, and I'm an author, illustrator of children's books and other kooky things, and the Goon Holler series is what it's called, and I don't know, that's what I'm doing now. Sort of.
I love them. And I have to say, though, I have a little bit of beef with you because you called vanilla boring in that book.
I love vanilla. I just think it would be great that if I had my own ice cream store, I would call it boring, just to bum people out. Would you like some boring?
My kids will not leave me alone whenever I order vanilla ice cream. They're like, Dad, that's called boring.
Yes.
Well, let's flip this a little bit around and talk about some good things, because this week we're talking about Chapter 3 of the Howard W. Hunter Manual, which says it's titled Cultivating an Attitude of Happiness and a Spirit of Optimism.
Isn't that's the Gordon B. Hinckley manual, right?
Yes. Did I say Howard W. Hunter?
Yes.
Oh, old habits die hard. I did 24 lessons of Howard W. Hunter, and I haven't quite moved out of that yet. Gordon B. Hinckley. And of course, Gordon B. Hinckley, I mean, he was the proverbial optimist. Like, I loved whenever he spoke because it was always uplifting, and you hear him talking, and you go, you know what? Yeah, I could do it. I could do this.
Totally. I remember one time at his funeral, they were described as somebody that loved people. And I thought that gave me some inner reflection. Like, I was like, I don't really love people. I don't like people. I hate people. And then I had to go, wow, I have to be like him. And I think over the years, I consider myself now as somebody that loves people just because somebody telling me about that positive aspect about Gordon B. Hinckley. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Well, and I think it's great for us to kind of, we have these church leaders that help us to get closer to emulating Christ, because what we know about Jesus Christ, we know, gosh, a couple hundred pages from the New Testament, and we get a glimpse of who he was from other scriptures as far as his role as deity, but we don't know everything. And so when we have leaders like Gordon B. Hinckley that really emulate the Savior, it helps us to have a closer, I guess, a clearer model. But of course, Jesus Christ is our perfect example, but we don't know everything about him that we could. And so these things help to cover the gap. And, speaking about just people talking about President Hinckley, one of the ones I loved in the lesson is a quote from Jeffrey R. Holland. And he says that Gordon B. Hinckley, he was always, saying things. And so he had said that Jeffrey R. Holland said that things will work out may have been President Hinckley's most repeated assurance to family, friends, and associates. Keep trying, he will say. Be believing, be happy. Don't get discouraged. Things will work out. I just think it's such a good motto, because it's hard when we get sometimes, in the mode of where we're at right now, and we get stuck. We go, you know what? It reminds me of Lord of the Rings. When Sam and Frodo are walking in the Two Towers at the very end. He's like, sometimes I get this mode like, how could it ever be good again when it's been so bad?
Yeah, totally. And President Hinckley lived a life like that. When things started to get scary, we had, 9/11, and he kind of was just kept us on a positive course that we can just make it through it. And I love that about him. And it's such a great message in the latter days, in the gnarliest time when we are on top of a volcano and it seems like there is no turning back and no survival. The point of this message was that some things are worth fighting for, Master Frodo.
Yeah, well, and I love he talks about later on in the lesson. He says that in all of living, have much fun and laughter. And I love this quote. He says, "Life is to be enjoyed, not just endured."
That is true.
And, you,
Yeah, were
I
you
was
going
gonna
to
say,
say something with that?
I was gonna say, what do you think about? What do you think of the differences between being enjoying life and enduring life?
Sometimes I feel like I find myself enduring life. Like I just got to get through the day. I just got to get to whatever that next thing is. But enjoying it is like looking around and appreciating what you have. And I think that's the whole point. I mean, the whole point of the lesson is finding happiness, finding through gratitude, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
counting your blessings, seeing what you have, what you've been blessed with. Yeah, was there any points in the lesson that really stood out to you?
some things I thought that were cool. I liked the quote at the very beginning from his dad. That his dad was uh, uh, known for saying that cynics do not contribute, skeptics do not create, and doubters do not achieve. And I've seen that a lot in my life, just where I get these crazy ideas, and then if I doubted my own crazy ideas, I wouldn't be able to make that happen.
Yeah, and I'm sure when you have an idea like that, there's those people that do come to you and say, "That's a dumb idea. Why would you do that?"
Yeah.
You know, and how discouraging that could be. And you think, what have you done? Tell me if you're so smart, what is the right thing to do? Show me that. And usually they
Yeah.
don't have anything to show for it.
Yeah, and we only got one shot at this life, so might as well have fun with it. Might as well enjoy what's going on. Sometimes just looking around at a very serious situation, I like observing things that I can appreciate out of them. Just laughing at uh, you know just at people, not a mean way, but just appreciating them.
Well, and I think that's the thing is being upbeat and positive. There are hard times that come, and there's hard things that we go through. But just the ability to be able to take a step back and look at the good things, look at the fun things that come about from it.
Mm.
I always loved Ned Flanders when there was an episode of The Simpsons when Homer Simpson is, trying to ask him like, are you ever down? And he's giving him these lists of things that are awful things, and Ned has this positive twist, and he's like, what about mosquito bites? Do you like mosquito bites? And he's like, love to scratch,
Oh, have you watched the new series of unfortunate events?
No, we haven't
The
watched it yet. We
Oh
watched
my
the movies
gosh,
with the kids. My kids have read all the books.
it's
But
good.
is it
It's good.
good?
Yeah, but they do have. I won't spoil it for you, but in some of the latter episodes, they have what an optimist is, and that's the same kind of thought. Like, okay, that's what an optimist is. But you know what? I guess I am an optimist. I think that's just kind of the only way to go. Some people go, well, hey, I'm a realist. Well, of course, duh. Being an optimist doesn't mean being delusional. We live in the latter days. Latter-day Saints, we kind of know things are kind of going to get worse in a lot of ways, right? I
Mhm.
mean, we come from deep persecution, and Christianity for the as a whole, it usually isn't a comfortable place to are. It's not cushy, you know what I mean? It's fraught with persecution and trials and all this stuff, and we know that things are going to get worse, in the global landscape and politically. But even looking at Gordon B. Hinckley's example and his message, his life message, is something that we need to carry on today. Is that things are going to get worse, but at the same time they're going to get better, and they're worth enjoying.
Yeah.
You know.
One of the quotes that I love, I think this would be a good place for us to leave it, is President Hinckley, he says, believe in yourself, believe in your capacity to do great and good things. Believe that no mountain is so high that you cannot climb it. Believe that no storm is so great that you cannot weather it. You are a child of God of infinite capacity. Stand a little taller, rise a little higher, be a little better, make the extra effort. You will be happier. You will know a satisfaction, a new gladness in your heart, which I think is just a good point for us to end this lesson on. It's just the idea that we don't have to be down and we don't have to be depressed, but we can believe that we are sons and daughters of God. And with that knowledge and knowing that his love is for us to be happy, that's what he wants for us. And so even though we might go through trials right now, he's the master of our plan. And he knows that even though we might go through trials right now, that we can come on the other side of it better, stronger, happier if we stand taller and rise above those things.
Totally. I think that's great. Can I say one more thing?
You bet you can.
My son Ethan was worried about not being able to make it. He got the role as the lead role on Music Man, and
fun.
And he's afraid that he's not going to be able to make it as far as do a good job performing. And I was able to use this lesson and tell him, quote, to Gordon B. Hinckley, that let our faith replace our fears. So instead of saying, I'm afraid I'm not going to do well, just say, I have faith that I will do well, and then work towards that. And I think that changes everything.
And the idea that Heavenly Father wants him to do a good job. He wants him to succeed. And say, okay, I know that with his help, I can do it. What do I need to do on my end? Study my lines, practice my vocals, those kinds of things.
Yeah, exactly.
And with his power, you can do it.
I'm going to write that down.
About what you're going on right now.
Well, I've been doing a lot of illustrating for children's books for hire. Some of them, we'll see if they'll come out. If not, and then I've been doing a lot of elementary schools. I've been speaking in elementary schools. I've got 3 coming up that I'm going to be doing personal appearances at. I draw with kids and I read some of my books with them, and it's a blast. I'm able to do
nice.
it.
Now, are those the Goon Holler books that you read when you're going to schools?
Yep. Yeah. And I guess you can go goonholler.com, which will take you to my Facebook page. I don't know if you want to know more about that, but yeah, that's what it's for right now. So.
Cool. And I'll put some. I know I wrote an article when the first Goon Holler book came out about that book, and so I'll put a link to that in the show notes so you guys can learn more about what Goon Holler is. It's a super fun activity book, especially I love the first one just because it's just this grab bag of all these random things. It's like there's recipes in there, there's music in there that you can play, there's all kinds of just story pieces, there's introduction to the characters. So if you're new to Goon Holler, it's a great primer to know these characters, and it's just super fun and entertaining. A lot of the characters that you will see in that book you might recognize from the show Yo Gabba Gabba, because they're kind of related in their universes, you could say. Yeah,
I was able to keep some of those rights of some of those characters that I put in some animation segments on Yo Gabba Gabba, and so we can do a spinoff. And so that's kind of what we've been working on doing for a little too long to my comfort. But we'll see how that goes.
So we've got some things that are out now, and also keep your eye on Parker because I'm sure he'll have some new things out there. And I always say follow his Facebook page just because he does daily doodles, and I love his Sunday doodles because I can know like what his lessons are on.
Well, thanks, Grady. Glad to be here.
Yeah, Parker, thanks for joining us. And everyone, thanks for listening to us tonight. We love sharing these lessons with you. If you feel like listening to this podcast helped you, let us know. I love hearing that kind of feedback. Give us a review on iTunes. Give us a comment on the YouTube video if you're watching the YouTube feed or on Facebook. Share it with your friends. We appreciate what you guys do to help us spread the word and all those nice messages that you've been sending me. I've gotten a lot of them recently, and it makes me feel good about what I do. And so I appreciate that just on a personal level. But on behalf of Parker, my name is Grady, and we wish you all a fond adieu.